Alright, so I may be a little bit late on doing this review. I mean, yesterday was basically a wasted opportunity for me. But hey, who says that I can't do it the very next day? JFK. So JFK is a movie that came out in 1991, and it's not about John F. Kennedy when he was president, but more as the events that happened after his famous assassination. And this movie stars Kevin Costner as an investigator who's trying to figure out and get down to business on what really happened behind the John F. Kennedy assassination. Because we all know the John F. Kennedy assassination, there was a lot more to it that they have not told us. It's basically an Alice in Wonderland rabbit hole that is really difficult to figure out. But anyway, he's digging into the case, and what this movie does that I found really fascinating is that there is a whole lot more going on behind the scenes than just Lee Harvey Oswald in a warehouse shooting the president from a window. There's a lot more going on, and he is stuck in the middle of all of this because you have some people that want to figure out what really went down with the John F. Kennedy assassination, and then there are those that don't want to go down there because may I remind you guys that even though history books and TV shows and movies show John F. Kennedy as a movie star, and he was the big boy, someone really famous in America. Not a lot of people were big fans of him, due to the fact some of the decisions that he has made in the country. This is when the civil rights movement was going on. This is when the Vietnam War was going on. This is when the Cold War was at its peak. People were basically one side or the other. That's what the world is. I mean, he's not the only president where there's a big divide in the country. There was also Abraham Lincoln. There's also Donald Trump. It's something that has been seen before. So I found that interesting because it kind of brings out that there is possibly thousands of people that had a motive to want to kill John F. Kennedy. And the only person that they had in custody would be Lee Harvey Oswald, played by Gary Oldman. Except the problem is, a couple hours after shooting the president, Jack Ruby shot Lee Harvey Oswald, and he died. So that was out of the question. And also, I'm going to point this out. This is the very first movie that I have watched where I saw the video of John F. Kennedy getting his head blown off. Yeah, that when his assassination was happening, someone was actually filming it, and it caught the moment where his head blew off. And just watching that video over and over and over again, you just want to figure out, okay, did he get shot from the back or did he get shot from the front? Hard to say. It's really hard to say. It's very difficult, but it's I mean, if you're not squeamish and you're not you don't faint at the sight of blood, I would recommend checking it out. Just be aware that this is a man who died, okay? Just to warn you on that. So I thought the investigation that was going down, the little stories that are out there that may or may not be involved with the John F. Kennedy assassination, that was interesting. But the problem is, it was a little bit messy. I mean, I think the movie would have been a whole lot better if it was like 2.5 hours long. But this movie is 3 or 3.5 hours long, and it's so spaced out. It's so slow that there are several moments where I was thinking, oh yeah, I forgot about that group. I forgot about this guy. This movie needs to be shorter. It needs to have a better speed than this. So yeah, that's kind of the flaw of this movie, is that it's a little bit too long. And sometimes the movie really does drag. Kevin Costner is mostly famous for being in movies that are 3 hours, and those are basically 3-hour-long snooze fests. And this is no exception. Honestly, I think this movie would have been a lot more interesting if it was about John F. Kennedy as president and the events that would lead up to his final moment in Dallas. And it would have been more interesting if the movie would show bits and details in the story that may or may not be linked to his famous assassination. And they don't tell you which one was involved, because honestly, we don't know what was involved. I mean, who knows what really went down with President Kennedy's assassination? For all we know, it actually could have been Lee Harvey Oswald shooting from a warehouse. I don't know, I just kind of love stories where they give you hints or details, and I do love movies like this that make you question on what was being told and what really happened. So I will give the movie credit with that. The only flaw I can really see in this movie is that it's stretched out too long. So I gotta say, JFK was interesting. And it is definitely worth watching at least once. So guys, JFK, have you seen it? What did you think of it? Am I a little bit late to the party because yesterday was the 60th anniversary? Just let me know. And also, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.